Waypoints. Waypoints will cover all aspects of navigation for the overland traveler. Navigation is the act or practicing of navigating, the method of determining position, course, and distance traveled.
Well, the days are getting longer and warmer, events are happening, and people have begun hitting the road to start their journeys. So this week on Waypoints, we'll be covering camping basics and etiquette when overlanding. Now, we all know that public land is out there and free for us to use, but accessing and camping on it can be kind of confusing, especially for those who don't live in the West where most of these lands occur. There are different types of camping when it comes to public lands. Camping within public lands varies from completely open, primitive areas with zero facilities, all the way to designated campsites with basics like pit toilets and fire rings to full-service campgrounds. And when there are official campgrounds on BLM lands, they're usually first come, first serve. And they're usually clearly designated with signage indicating the nightly fee and ranger station location. Make sure to always bring cash or check for payment. Plan early online because full-service sites are frequently booked 6 months to a year in advance. BLM and open public lands are often the most rewarding locations located far away from the crowds. To zero in and research a campsite or area that offers free camping, my advice is use a combination of deciding on a destination, doing a ton of online research in advance, and planning how to travel there responsibly with little to no impact on the environment. I think that's very, very important. In addition, ranger stations provide motor vehicle use, or MVUM maps, to show where highway vehicles are allowed to go off-grid. Finding permitted camping areas on BLM land is fairly easy with a quick Google search for the destination you're interested in exploring. Know as much as possible before you go, and be diligent in your research to identify the areas where primitive camping is permitted and where it's not allowed. For instance, there's no primitive camping within 20 miles of Moab, Utah. Many people think you can drive wherever you want and do whatever you want on BLM land. Well, this is not the case at all. You need to stay on the trail, don't crush the brush, and always make sure you have a minimal impact on the environment. Abuse of public lands, that's what contributes to the closures of public lands. I advise thoroughly reading the Know Before You Go list from the National Forest Service. General rules of thumb to help you get started traveling farther off the pavement are, when in doubt, get out. Now, what does that mean? Step out of the vehicle, walk the trail, even if it means getting muddy or wet. A marked road on a map is not necessarily a passable road. I also think you should have a Garmin inReach or other two-way communication solution off-grid. Try to get to camp by 6 p.m. in the summer. Setting up camp after dark can be dangerous if you're not familiar with the terrain. Now, this isn't a hard rule with me. Some people, they enjoy a morning surprise when they wake up. The more research you do, the more likely you'll find an area that has plenty of space to hunker down for the night. Get in the practice of visiting the district ranger station. It's the best place to go before hitting dirt roads. Some good questions to ask while you're there are, is a camping permit required? Are there any areas that are closed? Are there any areas that need trash removal or sprucing up? Also, pull out your map and show the ranger officer where you intend to go. Now, dispersed camping does not mean camp anywhere, and that can be unclear. You are never allowed to make new roads or paths or drive in undeveloped areas. Fire rings are one of the best indicators of a designated campsite. However, if there is no clear vehicle path to the fire ring, you may camp there, but just keep your vehicle on a clearly used area. Don't drive off the trail. One set of tire treads through an area can quickly turn into 15 sets of tire treads. And this turns into new trails to areas not designated for vehicle use. This can lead to closures. Stick to clearly established trails when driving on public lands. Also, be respectful of gates. They're there for a reason. A phone call to the local BLM or Forest Service office in advance to ask about private public gates goes a long way to prepare you and yourself in advance. If you come across a gate on public land and go through it, leave it exactly as you found it, whether that it's open or it's closed. Ranchers may lease public land and manage livestock with the gates to control where they go. If a gate is marked private property, respect that and find a different path. Make sure you're aware of how water flows around you, especially when it's dry. If you're in a dry region and you find a spot that's lush with green trees and bushes, and you need to pay attention because that's an indication of the presence of water. And you want to know exactly how that water gets there. Look out for loose rocks and fragile terrain. Check to see what's above you, what's falling around you, and what could possibly fall at any moment, like a diseased or decaying tree. If you see arrowheads, divots in the rock for grinding grains, petroglyphs, or any other artifacts, steer clear and check in with the local ranger station about your discovery. Please, haul out everything and pick up after others who were less courteous. You be the adult. Study up on tread lightly principles and be familiar with leave no trace. I feel someone who is camping should have these things. The first thing is water. Invest in portable water containers that can carry at least 10 liters of drinking water. Make sure you have some food. Have a variety of non-perishable foods and snacks, and a stove that can boil hot water. Clothing, make sure to bring a few layering options for clothing so you can add layers in cold weather and remove them for hot. As far as your shelter, just make sure it's fully prepared where you'll be sleeping at night, whether it's a ground tent, a rooftop tent, or the back of a truck. And please have a portable toilet solution. It's one of the must-have items for primitive camping. And knowing how to properly handle doing number 1 and number 2 is essential to keeping public lands open and healthy. Some of the hardest parts of primitive camping are also the best parts, namely being completely self-sufficient and cut off from civilization. The other aspect of preparing for primitive camping is it forces you to be more engaged with where you are and what's going on. Enjoyment of the moment is heightened when you're already immersed in the landscape. Well, that's it for Waypoints this week. Let's go to a viewer question. A viewer wrote me to ask, I'm retired and on a budget. Can you please recommend a camera that will give me quality results and not break the bank? I have a budget of $750. I appreciate your reply. Well, I immediately had a camera in mind that fits this budget. But after doing a little research, I discovered it's currently selling at a ridiculously low price. For its current price, I recommend it to everybody and to anyone on an overland adventure or whatever you do. My recommendation is the DJI Osmo Action Camera. Right now, at the time of this recording, you can buy one for $199. And it has all the latest, greatest features, so you're not selling for anything because of the price. You can buy 3 cameras and still be well within your budget of $750. Not only that, you'll have enough room to buy accessories. If you create social media videos, take selfies, need a dash cam, or record video or photos during your outdoor and overland activities, this camera will allow you to record professional, high-resolution video wherever you go. It supports up to 4K 60 HDR video recording. It captures slow-motion video at 1080p 240. It has image stabilization and can also operate in time-lapse and hyperlapse modes. Still images can be captured in up to 12 megapixel resolution in a RAW or JPEG format. And when you rotate the camera 90 degrees, when taking stills, it'll automatically change to portrait mode. When recording in 4K 30 format, you can take advantage of the camera's high dynamic range, and it features a wide dynamic range to ease transitions between light and dark. Everything gets saved to a micro SD card at a maximum 256 gigabytes capacity. Both of the camera's displays feature touch screen control. The Osmo Action can also be controlled via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi from the DJI app. Additional features include being waterproof and can be submerged down to 36 feet in water without a case for up to 30 minutes. It has voice commands for filming and capturing photos, dual microphones, dual speakers, and is powered by a removable battery. That's always good. The housing is so durable that it can easily withstand drops from up to 5 feet high. In the box, you'll find a mounting frame, a USB Type-C cable, a quick release base, a flat adhesive mount, a curved adhesive mount, and a connector screw for connecting the mounting frame to a compatible action mount. Whether you're looking for a quality dash cam, a vlog camera, or an action camera for your overlanding, at this price, you can have one for all of the above. For $200, this is one of the most versatile action cameras on the market. And it's jam-packed with advanced technology that lets you spend less time worrying about equipment and more time living the action. That falls in line perfectly with overlanding. I left a link down in the description if you want to grab one. I don't know how long they'll be at this price and how long they'll be in stock, but I am leaving the link for you.